salt has become so metaphoric in a way in our language. We always say, is a man worth his salt? Because the first salary was actually paid in the form of salt. The word salary comes from salt. So that was a kind of importance human civilization has always associated with salt. Of course, today we have serious issues of excessive salt consumption leading to blood pressure, hypertension. Of course, salt is important. Sodium is very important electrolyte for the human body. Homeostasis, the body's balancing of the body humors, to use the old ancient term. It's very important to have the electrolyte balance, and sodium, potassium are some of the very key important electrolytes. But sodium of late, because of various forms of sodium, it's not just sodium chloride as salt, but sodium metabisulfite, sodium bisulfite, sodium glutamate, various forms of sodiums are getting into food, so there is excessive use of salt. So WHO now says that your salt has to be restricted to less than 5 grams a day in order to avoid hypertension and blood pressure. So one way of reducing, when they say reduce salt, they actually mean reduce your sodium intake. One way of reducing the sodium content in salt is to add chemically synthesized potassium chloride into salt and then reduce sodium content in salt. The other way is to use what is naturally available in the earth, the mined salt, particularly in the Himalayan foothill, what is known as pink salt, which is actually a mined salt. This salt is chemical, in its chemical composition is different from the sea salt. Sea salt is purely sodium chloride. Of course, there are other minerals because in the whole purification, everything is removed, of course, and then about 15 ppm of iodine is added, iodization process, and the iodized salt is used everywhere, and it is also illegal to sell salt without iodization that's the law by Government of India. But if you can use the mined salt from the earth than the sea, this salt has a different composition. This salt, basically it is different by having low sodium. Sea salt, pure salt, would have about 38% of sodium. The rock salt has only about 27% sodium. So low sodium means low BP. High sodium means high BP. So that is a very close connection, that there are very few dietary excesses and deficiencies directly connected to diseases and morbidities. Blood pressure is one such disease directly connected to salt intake. So if you can convert your sea salt into the Saindav Lavan or the rock salt, particularly the pink rock salt, this has low sodium, as I said, about 27% instead of 38%. It's a lot less compared to any low sodium in the market with added potassium chloride. In this, nothing is added. It's just ground into fine powder. Just as per the law, iodization is done. That's all. Naturally available salt has got low sodium, as I said, 27%. But in addition to that, it is a salt with sodium, potassium, calcium, and other microminerals. So it is actually a multi-mineral salt. And the benefit, there are a lot of people today consuming calcium supplement, potassium supplement. Calcium supplement is a very, very big business. Can you imagine just consumption of rock salt will also give you calcium, will also give you potassium and low sodium. In a way, multiple benefit. One cannot think of so many benefits in just the rock salt. So the low sodium, 27%, will help you in blood pressure, and of course, as you know, when you take high sodium salt, the blood cells make you thirsty and make you drink more water. And when the water content goes up in the blood, the volume of the blood increases. When the blood flow happens, then there is a pressure building up. So that's what blood pressure is all about, directly connected to sodium. So in a way, rock salt with all these multiple minerals and low sodium is really a boon. And in our case, we do the iodization, fields of gold rock salt, we source it from the mines directly, and there are simple techniques of how to grind it, how to maintain its the true nature. There's also a great deal of aesthetics in a way to do with the rock salt, the way the crystals are, and the way the probably food is not just biochemical, it is also aesthetic, it is also psychological and spiritual. I think salt, from Bible to the modern biology, is in a way deeply connected to both biochemistry and cultural and psychological aspects.